your time this morning, and thank you all for being here as well. Mr. Terry, you're back.
I think the gentleman now are Vice Chair, Mr. Collins.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. In my district, it's mostly rural Georgia, and it's mostly made up of, I'd say, good just blue collar folks, farms, row crops, and dairy farms and cattle. And I kind of want to talk about fertilizer for a minute, and I don't mean the fertilizer that comes out of the south end of a northbound cow. But, Mr. Krim, where does the U.S. get most of its phosphate from?
Mostly from China.
So it's imported.
Yes.
What can the U.S. do to ensure that we are not dependent on China for this phosphate?
The U.S. needs to be more deliberate in its efforts to move phosphate to the critical minerals list.
Good. And just as for information, phosphate is a very necessary component in fertilizer. And I know I'm not a farmer, but in the farmers that we do talk to on a daily basis, with the amount of inflation that's going on out there, especially from fuel prices and everything, fertilizer's gone sky high. And obviously, if you can't grow food or you don't have food, then the population is not going to be there as well. So, Mr. Chairman, I want to quit my question because I think that we've found out what the problem is, folks. The problem is that you've got a federal government out there that is overreaching into your life and in your business. A Biden administration that is bent on this left-wing socialistic agenda to change us and to change our country. We also have a federal agency out there, the federal agencies that are out of control. As a matter of fact, I'd say they don't even think they have to answer to you. They can submit a rule for comment. Yeah, you can send your comments in. Heck, they're not going to read them. They don't care. They don't care what you had to say. They're going to make the rule anyway. As a matter of fact, between them and the Biden administration, they think you live too good anyway. They think you need to be cut back a notch or two. And so the more they can reach into your lives and make things difficult, I don't even think they want you really going EV. You know what I think they want? I think they want you riding mass transit. I think they want you living in rental houses, not on your own housing. Be dependent on federal health care. So that everything you do, every decision you make, you're going to look to the federal government first to get that answer. I don't know about you, but that's not the America I know. It's not the America that I want to live in. So what are the solutions? I think Representative Crane hit the nail on the head. I've been around this a long time. I'm second generation in Congress. And I was told as long as I was a kid, there ain't a dead blame thing that happens in that town up there until the American people demand it. When you stand up and you say, we've had enough, finally that crowd up there will get a hint, and they'll start changing things. And that's what we need today. We've passed H.R. 1, bringing back lower energy costs back here to the U.S. to make it easier. But it's sitting over there in the Senate. I guess them people are still out playing pickleball. I don't know what they're doing. They need to take up legislation and either pass it or don't pass it. We've got NEPA reforms, Mr. Chairman, that we got through on that debt ceiling. That's good. That's a good thing. We need other things. We need tort reform to bring in that judicial part. So I would say, Mr. Chairman, if there's one ask that I could ask of you for an assignment, contact your senator. Contact all of them and tell them you've had enough. You're not the only one. You've got generations after you that want to make a living out here doing what you know best, and that they're interfering with it, and they need to get off of your back. We need this federal government off our back and out of our back pocket. Mr. Chairman, I yield back, and I appreciate the time.
I thank the colorful gentleman for his testimony. I'm going to try to put this all together.